Today I'm going to answer the question, what must sellers reveal in property disclosures? Hi, I'm Kevin Cavanaugh from the Cavanaugh Group at Compass. Now, the specifics for revealing these property disclosures vary state by state, but most states, including New Jersey, require some sort of seller's disclosure. And the goal of the seller's disclosure is really to add a layer of transparency to the transaction process. Now, in this disclosure, a seller provides some written information about things that could impact the property's value. Um, you know, there are a number of different things you have to disclose as a home seller, but today I'm going to highlight on just a few of the most forgotten and most impactful items. So, first one is HOA information. If you are a seller who lives in an HOA, it is very, very important to disclose the fact that your home is in an HOA community. HOA is Homeowners Association. And the reason why it's important to disclose this on the front end is because not all buyers are aware of what an HOA is and what implications come with that. Now, living in an HOA, there's monthly fees that a potential buyer is now going to have to incorporate into their monthly payment. Secondly, they're going to have additional rules, regulations, and bylaws that they're going to have to follow once they become owner in that development. Now, a buyer needs to know about the HOA's rules, regulations, what it's going to cost them on a monthly basis, but they also really need to know the financial condition of the HOA itself. Now, not all HOAs are managed the same way. Some HOAs have a really good financial picture, and some other HOAs that are poorly managed have really bad financials. And essentially what that means is if you have an HOA with bad financials, if the HOA decides to do an assessment in that community for, new windows on a building, or they're going to assess for new roofs on the properties in that HOA, those homeowners now are going to get an additional assessment, a financial assessment on a monthly basis that's now going to increase their cost of living on a monthly basis because they have to pay for these repairs on their end. As opposed to a healthy HOA, they have monies in reserves already stashed aside so that if there is anything that does need repair or replacement, they can now draw from that reserve fund as opposed to assessing all of the new homeowners in that community. The second point is disclosing repairs. Now, the reason why disclosing repairs is so important is because you want to set the right expectation from the front with all potential buyers. And it's going to save you a lot of headaches in the end because, if there's some issues with the property, maybe there's, a leak or the basement gets a little bit of water. If you're disclosing all this information on the front end, you're just setting the right expectations so that when you start to receive offers from these potential buyers, they're now offering with those things in mind, as opposed to having them do a home inspection after the fact and trying to renegotiate on the price and get credits or repairs for any of the things, in question. So I always tell my clients, represent the home on the front end to all potential buyers as you would expect if you were the one buying a new home. Now, the third point is disclosing lead paint. If you live in a home that was built prior to 1978, you potentially have lead paint either in the interior or the exterior of your home. And it was common practice before 1978 to use paint that contained lead. Now, in 1978, the federal government realized, wow, these are not good products. They are, potentially cancerous. You have dogs, cats, kids potentially, consuming small pieces of chip paint and ingesting that, and that's a real problem. So by disclosing the fact that you live in a home that was built prior to 1978 and there is a potential that there is lead paint somewhere on the property, you're now just setting the right expectation for anybody interested, and they have the opportunity to do a lead paint inspection, which is a 10-day period along with their home inspection to test for any potential lead paint in the property. Now, the key thing to remember about these disclosures is that when you're in doubt, disclose, disclose, disclose. So if you're failing to disclose something that you were aware of beforehand, it could lead to a really big headache in a potential legal situation, which nobody wants. So be transparent, set the right expectation from the front about potential lead paint, about the fact if you live in an HOA, and any repairs and material defects that may exist at the property. So I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any questions about anything we discussed here or any future questions, please feel free to text, email, call us. We're always happy to help, and we hope you found this informative, and we'll see you on the next one.